Well, now let's get in here and see what's going on with everybody. Well, somebody messaged something, but we can't really see what it is. Hold on just a second. Okay.
802. Device unlocked.
You know, the crazy thing, and like, I want to start by saying this. If you're not watching the stream right now, you'll probably see this later. But, what I wanted to talk about is there's a lot of speculation going on, or there was a lot of speculation going on about the whole TikTok ban and all this other crap. And the funny thing is, everybody's like, yeah, TikTok's getting banned, this, that, and third. You know, I'm not on TikTok myself. I never really got on the TikTok bandwagon, per se. So, like, I never got involved with it. But I know people that, you know, have turned it into like a side hustle. They've either bought stuff off of TikTok, they either sell stuff from TikTok, or they, you know, they may have started their small business or anything like that from TikTok and, you know, get major traction, things of that nature. But a lot of people don't realize, like, TikTok got a lot, and I mean a lot, of traction. Because if you think about it, back in like the early 2000s, think about this, for a lot of the guys and girls who are around my age, which I'm 32, they all remember Vine. Vine was where a lot of YouTubers, you know, content creators and things of that nature, a lot of content creators, or you know, anything like that, that's where a lot of them got majorly popular, was Vine. And then it ended up, you know, they went from Vine to YouTube, or from Vine to Twitch, or things of that nature, or they made videos on Vine and they kind of kept the streak up there. Like, we'll use somebody, and you know, I'm not gonna mention the name, but they're involved in the music industry, they're independent, and that's how they got a lot of their traction and their followers, is Vine and Instagram. They went from Vine and Instagram to doing stuff on YouTube to, you know, being in the independent, you know, artist scene. So they covered a lot of ground. And they did a lot just being themselves. Because that's, you know, that's what content creation is overall about, is, you know, doing something you enjoy, you know, being yourself, doing something that lets you have fun doing what you do, and the enjoyment behind it is, you know, other people have the following or have the tendency to come back and actually watch your content and enjoy it. And, you know, more people flock to that. And the more people you have that enjoy your content, that means you're now starting to get that outreach, that your outreach is, you know, getting to more people, which means, you know, you're doing something that people are enjoying. And a lot of people, going back to the TikTok ban, a lot of people have, you know, it was a big speculation for a while that they were just going to drop TikTok off altogether. Well, I heard reports of, you know, and this is just what I hear, you can take it with a grain of salt, that it dropped off the storefront for like 5 or 6 hours and then it was back. Well, then I heard from other people that TikTok is going to be, you know, not getting any more major updates, but they're still going to let people use it. I don't know. It's one of those things that, you know, I didn't really follow, but I know a lot of people who are on my YouTube channel that follow me or that have been around. They use TikTok. They, you know, they either post on TikTok or they just like to get on and scroll just to see what kind of craziness happens. And that's one of those things that, you know, you do it, you don't, you don't. Well, that's kind of how that follows up. And, you know, that's one of those things, and, you know, I'm letting the footage play in the background because there's, you know, I don't have any current recorded footage that I can post up and let you guys watch, but basically, I wanted to come in and kind of sit and talk with you guys. A lot of stuff's happened along with the, you know, supposed TikTok ban. We went through, you know, Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene. Helene especially being the worst for, you know, us in South Carolina and, you know, a lot of people up in North Carolina. North Carolina, in my opinion, got hit the hardest. With Milton, I think Florida got it the worst, and then, you know, Helene just completely bypassed Florida and just like yeeted itself into Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. Because I was sitting here at 3:30 that morning, hadn't been to sleep yet, and I noticed, you know, things started taking a downhill turn. And I'm also into a lot of different radio services like GMRS, ham. Of course, I don't have my ham license yet, so I'm not really trying to transmit on those and get myself in trouble. But I'm into a lot of that. You know, I like to kind of keep up with what goes on around me. Well, things kind of took a downward turn, and I was providing updates for a lot of the operators in the area who didn't have a lot of access to information. And then about 4:30, we lost power. Power went out. Then, you know, trees started going down around us. We actually had one come down in our front yard that took the power line that's right here, you know, by where my room is, and, you know, reference to the house. It took the tree came down snatched the power line completely, like almost off the pole, snapped the pole in half, and like if you walked in my backyard, the power line was literally hanging probably 4 feet from the ground. And we think that was a feed line because after that the power just went out. I think we had a total of, because it happened on a Friday going into Saturday, or a Thursday going into Friday, and we didn't have power back until like Tuesday morning. I think that was when we got power back. I'm not really sure. We didn't really keep track of time because, you know, we were focused on just trying to manage what we had, using, you know, the truck to charge phones, battery packs, things of that nature, because we don't have a generator. Then a family member actually went and got a generator. So for the last part of everything, we had power. We had like minimal power, so I was able to do, you know, charge phones or charge my radios I was using to keep track of information, or, you know, charge battery packs and things like that. So like we made it through Helene gratefully. Like, we didn't really have too much damage. I think we had 2 trees that went down in the yard. But, you know, the people up in North Carolina got it a lot worse. You know, Chimney Rock, if you're familiar with Chimney Rock, was, you know, it was really, really bad. Chimney Rock just basically got obliterated. And I know a few other operators who are, you know, licensed amateur operators, GMRS license holders, things like that. They went up to provide communications for the affected areas because they had so much devastation up there that communications was limited and the pass of information was limited. Excuse me. And, you know, they went to help out with that. So they essentially did what I did during Helene when it was here with us. They essentially went up, spent a week in North Carolina doing communication stuff, you know, getting into the affected areas, helping people that needed it, you know, things of that nature. So, I mean, it's a very interesting thing when you go through a hurricane, and I've been through not necessarily a hurricane, but I think it was Irma. Irma was one that was basically a tropical depression that got to us. All it did was just dump us with rain. But I can successfully say I, in the first time in my life, have been through a hurricane that I can remember. And it was a very interesting experience. Like, I'd equate it to like mini tornadoes I've been in, but it essentially was a hell of an experience. Like, I wish that I don't have to go through that again, but, you know, I know at some point in my life that I'll have to go through it again. Just don't know when. But anyway, on to the next topic of conversation. Gaming wise, there hasn't really been a lot for me to post. I've been playing a lot of Gran Turismo 7, a lot of Red Dead, as you guys are seeing here on the screen, where I've done some pretty interesting things. Hasn't really been a lot to post, hasn't really been a lot to talk about, because, you know, gaming is slow. The whole GTA 6 hype train is absolutely real. There are people that are still waiting on, you know, GTA 6 to come out. Some people are saying it's not, some people saying it is. You know, it's all speculation. Speculation is probably the biggest thing in the gaming and information world, is speculation. And that's all we can do at this point with GTA 6. And I'm sorry if you hear like the hum in the background. That is my heater because it's like 28 degrees outside, and I am not trying to freeze. But anyway, that's really all the speculation is like when, where, what they're gonna do, map size, you know, character portrayals, whole bunch of stuff. And like, I honestly didn't get into the hype or, you know, posting videos on YouTube, GTA 6 gonna have this, GTA 6 gonna have that. Like, I know I posted a couple of videos a long time ago. I think it was back in 2013 or 2014 about GTA 5. I think it was like 2013. Like, different stuff I learned or different information I had. And that was kind of the only gaming related video information that I ever posted before a game came out. And I know there's a video that's on my channel currently right now that has well over 20,000 views, and it still makes me laugh to this point. And all it was a DLC video of the Arena War vehicles, talking about how they had added buffs to the ramp buggy, the Phantom Wedge, and a few others. And like, it amazed me that video has one of the most view counts on my channel to this day. Because if you go back and look at it now, like, I just did a rough edit of that with Share Factory on the PS4, and I just went with it. I just took what information I had and just like, plop, here you go, just dropped it right in front of you guys. And it's like, apparently a lot of people took to it. Because I'm not one of those YouTubers, and I keep going back to this, and I'm sorry, but I'm not one of those YouTubers that will post video after video after video after video about, you know, one particular thing, unless there's updates to that information on that particular thing, or updates to, you know, something that went into updating this particular object. Then maybe. But I'm not going to drop, you know, 6 videos a day about the same thing. Like, I used to upload, and I'll tell you guys my upload schedule for people that don't know, that haven't been around the channel that long. What I used to do is I used to sit here and I would record Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and occasionally Thursday if it was something short. And what I would do is I would edit all 3 videos, and my release cover would be either Friday or Saturday. So essentially I would do 1 video a week, but I would run through and do content for 3 weeks. So I would literally go through, record what I needed, and then, you know, release it later on. So doing that weekly, there was a lot of information that didn't get covered, or, you know, if it did get covered, it got covered very minimally. So, I mean, that's another thing I want to go get back to doing, is uploading at least once a week. And trying to get back into that routine, but there's not a lot of games that have had any major updates, at least games that I play, that have had major updates. I think the only one that I've played that has major updates is GTA, and I'm on the PS5 version. Not a lot of other people are on the 5 version, because there are some still on the 4 in my friend group, but, you know, it is what it is. The doggos are barking in the background. But on to the second or what is this, third or fourth topic? Future content. This kind of falls in line with what I just said, you know, upload schedule. I want to get back into posting at least once or either twice a week, even if it's like just short little videos. Because I know a lot of you guys are just like, he hasn't released anything in months. He had a live stream back in, I think, July. It's like, where the hell is he? I've been around, just haven't really felt like recording or doing any major, like, things behind it. And I kind of need to put myself back into that. And I do have one question for you guys. I know my channel is primarily centered around gaming, and there's a whole freaking niche around it. I also do radio stuff, like communication, two-way radio stuff. If you go look at one of my public playlists on my YouTube, there's a playlist called Two-Way Radio Information. And there's a guy, his name is, I think his name is like Dan IXD or something. So Dan, if you watch this, I apologize if I butcher your last name. He tells where, you know, what information to look for when you're buying Motorola equipment, such as serial numbers, things of that nature. What what it does, or what, you can expect it to do, things like that. Just information if you ever want to get into buying radio equipment. I do what they call a net every Monday night, and it is for Amron, and the Amron group stands for the American Radio Readout Operators Network. So AMRRON. So that is the American Radio Readout Operators Network, and the purpose of this network is to provide and pass information for licensed and non-licensed operators, such as, the little two-way radios you get from Walmart, the little two bubble pack radios that say they're like 30-something miles when they're really not. You probably get like a mile out of those. Well, here's the thing. With those particular radios, even though they are not GMRS, I'm part of a service called GMRS, which is General Mobile Radio Service. God, I cannot talk. Which you have to have a license for through the FCC, and it's like $35. So you go in, set your get your FRN number through the FCC, you register that, then you go register your FRN number to get your GMRS license. Now, in some states, GMRS is not as popular as other states. GMRS is a radio service, and if any ham operators are watching this video, I swear to you, I mean no disrespect to this, because I'm in the process of getting my ham license as well. I've got several radios that are ham capable that I can't use except to monitor until I get a license. But GMRS is essentially, the best way I can describe it for somebody who doesn't understand it, is ham radio without having to go take a test. It's, still got the same rule platform. You still have to, identify with your call sign either at the beginning of a transmission when you're making a call out, or end of a transmission when you're clearing. And I think the FCC regulation behind that is like every 15 minutes if you're in the middle of a conversation. Where I think ham is like every 10 minutes. So and also where GMRS or ham has a lot of frequencies you can use, GMRS is limited to only 8 channels. So GMRS, you have, FRS is shared. So if you have a little Walmart walkie-talkie that a lot of people don't, but if you have a little Walmart walkie-talkie, check this out. Turn it on. if it's on channel 1, go to channel 1 and then go up to 7. Those are FRS channels. That is family radio service. That's the ones you don't have to have a license for. Anybody can pick up and use and say, hey, how are you? You know, you can talk to pretty much anybody who has the same radio. Or same, you know, classification of radio. Like the little Walmart bubble pack. Then you have 8 through 14. Those are shared with, I think those are also part of FRS and GMRS. Those are the first 7, which is 1 through 7. They're limited to, I think, 4 watts, 4 either 5 watts. 8 through 14 is limited to half a watt. And then 15 through 22, this is where it gets interesting. 15 through 22, that's 462.550 through 462.72500. So that's 7 or 8 channels. Yeah, I think that's either 7 or 8. 15 through 22 are shared with the GMRS radio service. So they're FRS channels, but they're shared with GMRS. So a lot of times, us as GMRS operators will use them for simplex, which is, you know, radio to radio, and, you know, just back and forth casual conversation. But they're shared in junction with the repeater channels, which are 22 or 23 through 30. And those are the split offset channels where you can get into the repeaters and things like that. I'm not going to get into this. You can go look it up. But if you have a little bubble pack radio or multiple bubble pack radios, stick your stuff on, you know, the little lower channels, 1 through 7, you know, 8 through 14, 15 through 22, and just listen. You know, you never know what you'll hear. But I will say this, for operators, like, because I've noticed a lot of people that have bought radios for companies, and they'll use the GMRS channel, the shared FRS GMRS channels, like 15 through 22. They'll use them for, you know, going out, working, communications between, you know, whatever. And it's a construction company, and I'm just like, come on now. Like, you're on a GMRS shared channel, which we have to have a license for, but you guys get on the channel simplex and you don't have to have a license. I'm not going to harp on it. I'm not a sad ham, which I'm not a ham at all, but I'm not going to harp on it. But I am going to tell you this: if you're going to get into any type of radio service, whether it be amateur radio, GMRS, or if you do, you know, just FRS around the neighborhood or things like that, do your research. Find out what works best for you or your group of people. Turn that radio on and listen before you start keying up, talking ended up talking where you're not supposed to. Do your research, do your homework, figure it out. But that leads me to this question. Do you guys want to see how a nightly net works? If you do, I will record, because there is one that actually is happening tonight at 8 o'clock, and it is the AmronNet. So it's the American Radio Readout Operators Network, which is what I told you about earlier when I started this whole topic. It's the AmronNet, but it's on GMRS coverage, which means it's something that I'm licensed for. If you guys want to see how that works, I will record one and I will post it later. So this is up to you guys. If you want to sit and watch how the nets work and how the radios work, I will record this and I will post it for you guys. Because I do want to venture out into other things except for gaming, and I do have a lot of other hobbies besides that. So you guys let me know what you want to see. And I think the last thing I'm going to say for this particular video or live stream, because I know a lot of you guys aren't up yet, and I do apologize, it is early, but I wanted to kind of get this out of the way while it was still quiet in the house, because I don't have any sound deadening or anything fancy like that. And I have doggos, so the doggos get a little loud. But I wanted to thank every one of you guys that have stuck around since I started this journey of YouTube, of gaming, of just anything. Because a lot of you guys know I'm a visually impaired content creator. I don't really, throw that in people's faces all the time, although I'm a lot more open about it now than what I used to be. A lot of you guys have seen the videos I posted. A lot of you guys have seen, some of the stuff I do, how certain things work, and, over the years have stuck it out with me through all the hardships and being there for me when, things have been interesting. So, I am going to say this as a lasting and end point to the broadcast, and I apologize for the radio in the background. I forgot to turn it down. For anybody who is a content creator, whether you're sighted, whether you're visually impaired, whether you're totally blind, it's a hard thing to do. But if you enjoy it and you enjoy what you do, you'll get through it. You'll figure it out and you'll adapt to make it work. But anyway, as far as all the topics I've covered, that's kind of what's been going on. That's kind of what's been, in the loop and what's been up. If you guys want to see the radio side of things outside of video games, just let me know in the comment section below. And, we'll see what we can do. Because, like I said, there is a net tonight. I can record it. I can post it later if you guys want to see it. And we'll go from there. But anyway, for all you guys that are watching this by the time it goes up, thank you. And if you guys want to see more conversations like this where you want to come get involved with me, let me know if you want to see that again. And, take care of yourselves. Till then, we'll catch up later. And, time for me to go find something to eat. Anyway, take care of yourselves. We'll catch up with you later on.